Alejandro Garnacho has played 3,394 minutes, an important player this season for Manchester United. But guys, doesn't the boy need some rest? Isn't this the time to rest him? Welcome to the United Hotspot. My name is Webb, and like, subscribe, and share as we wind down the season that has been so painful to be a Man United supporter. But indeed, we had to endure. Honestly, I remember sometime in the season, I used to do this, I was doing this live watcher. But honestly, when the team is not performing, it's extremely difficult for you to hold on to a full game and do a watch along and talk to yourself here, hoping that people are there, watching with you. So I said, you know what, not for this season. Let me save my energy for a better season. But boy, we are back here to end it. Probably this time we might have one as we do end the season as we do take on Brighton. But I'm here to focus more on this young man who has started the fourth most number of games for Manchester United, and played the fourth most number of minutes for Manchester United. It is only uh, Bruno Fernandes, Diogo Dalot, and Andre Onana who have played more minutes this season than Alejandro Garnacho. But the boy, honestly, if we consider the last games, you can struggle to recall when last Garnacho looked as sharp as we know he can be. And don't get it twisted. We're not saying he should be dropped or, it's just him needing to rest. The problem, I think, all the time this season is Erik Ten Hag not having the boldness and confidence to rest certain players when things are not going well for them. When it's not even just them becoming, bad players eventually, it's just them needing to rest a little. Honestly, before the FA Cup final, I think Garnacho can use some rest for the Brighton game. But also, he could even be a substitute for the FA Cup final. And of course, people would say, how unfair would that be? This boy has been important all season, but you don't rest him in the most important game for United. You give him the chance. Well, you might put him there, but depending on the opponent and what you want to achieve, he can actually come off the bench and make an impact. Because the reality is, the more games he is forced to play, he's becoming more blunt. His body language alone shows you that his body is tired. He's running and losing balls and trying to beat off people, but after beating off, making the first move to beat off someone, he runs short of ideas of what to do with the final ball. It shows you that when you're tired, it's both mental and even and physical. The feet are just running, but then the brain is not really opened up for him to think about the things he would do before. The things we know he can do when he's well rested. Honestly, for me, that's why I stick to my starting 11, and I'm saying in the event that Varane or Lindelof or a natural centre back is fit, even if it's Kambwala, I think Erik Ten Hag should push back Casemiro to the midfield together with Amrabat, but sacrifice Alejandro Garnacho. Ahmad and Bruno Fernandes should be the ones playing behind Rasmus Højlund. I don't want to see Erik Ten Hag still benching Højlund. I think it would be but you see the way he rested Højlund in our previous game, that's exactly what he needs to do with Garnacho. Garnacho too needs to rest so that he comes back fresh. If he wants to start him in the FA Cup final, it's okay, but he deserves to rest. We cannot play every game, nearly every game, ever since he started. He became a starter because he has lost it. He has lost it. And guys, players may not say it because they always want to be on the pitch playing, but as a manager, it's upon you to look at your player and see, okay, what do they need? How do I support my player? Garnacho cannot walk to Erik Ten Hag and tell him, you know what, boss, I'm tired. I need to rest. He cannot. But as the manager, you should be able, as the technical team, to look at the boy and see him. The medical department should be able to advise the manager and tell him, you know what, this boy's body can't do it no more. He's blocking. His legs and the head are becoming blocked. But for some reason, it looks like Garnacho is being made to come off untouchable. Like he can't rest. That even if he can't run and breathe no more, he runs out of lungs. He still has got to be starting games, and that was understandable before when there were no options. There was no depth at all in the squad. But with the emergence of Amad Diallo, with the coming of Amrabat, who is giving options in the middle, in a game like this against the possessive side, the final game for Brighton, for the Brighton manager, where we know they're going to come all at us, they'll go all out at us. We need to compact that middle, and there's a player up top that has got to be a sacrifice. And Erik Ten Hag can shock you and instead sacrifice Rasmus Højlund, because there's got to be a sacrifice somewhere. You will see it in that squad. I know there will be a sacrifice somewhere, but Ten Hag can shock you and sacrifice either natural centre back, or and have to we have to look at Casemiro and Dewar playing the central defense where he's out of place, not his natural position. Guy is on trying, or he will sacrifice a striker. That's Ten Hag for you, but I'm hoping it's not the case. But that said, if I was trying to reflect on Man United players and their season and how they performed, and honestly, I think, of course, with the exception of Bruno, who has been exceptional, I think he has been way above the rest consistently across the entire season. I think Alejandro Garnacho has been our second most impactful player. I think after Bruno. I think it's easy to rate him that. I think if you look at our bad season, ever since Garnacho started, getting a chance to start ahead of Marcus Rashford, I think across the entire season he has been our second most important player or impactful player after Bruno Fernandes. It's just that we have not got a chance to see how we play without him ever since he started playing games. And I thought their games were the time should have reached already, but Erik Ten Hag perhaps did not have the options. But now he has. The other player I would say has been important is Diogo Dalot. And people don't want to give credit to Diogo Dalot. They want to give him his flowers because sometimes he'll have a bad game. But Dalot has been there all throughout the season, fighting and trying to improve. At times it got stale when the team was so bad. Honestly, his levels were not consistent, but he fought, got past Wan-Bissaka, and then he's at times playing left back. So across the season, you would say he has been one of our more consistent players, very improved as a player. And that's why I think it's no doubt he should be staying. The other player, of course, Kobe came later. He was a late arrival, and he changed the team. So his impact was instant. He came and changed the team until at some point when the weight became so bad, but still he kept his level there. And you think he has again proved to be important all throughout. But I think across the entire season, it's only fair to rate the others: Bruno, Garnacho, and Dalot, who have played more games than Kobe, but he has also been extremely important when he came and established himself as a constant starter in the team. The other player who has been important this season, and his importance might not be quantified or qualified in the same way as the others because the others have been starters, is Scott McTominay, because his goals alone have won Manchester United over 12 points. So that alone shows you how important he has been. Imagine where United would have been on the log without the goals that Scott McTominay scored coming off the bench or the few he scored as a starter. How I think actually most of his goals were off the bench. So it shows you how important he has been. So he has been important. So if you go down to make a proper audit of individual performances and importance of the team, I think you will see that it's probably impossible to even talk about Scott McTominay leaving Man United. Even if I dropped a video sometime asking people their take that between Scott McTominay and Sofiane Amrabat, who would you sell and keep? But the reality is Scott McTominay's goals have been so important, proved to be so important to United, that they have helped us stay in a more respectable position in what season. So you think he deserves his flowers as well. Whether he's a Man United player or not, I think he has got the mentality to play for Man United. Perhaps the skill is a bit lacking, but I don't think it's all about how much skill you have. I think all players today, like all managers will tell you today, there is not so much difference between the very skillful and the unskillful today in football. It's more of the character and mentality and discipline. So Scott McTominay can be a player because he has got the discipline and character to be a player at Manchester United. Which other player has been important? Well, people will not talk about Andrew Onana because for a significant part of the season he was struggling to fit in. I think I'll excuse him. Højlund came in, not consistent a bit, yeah, but he was fairly important. Casemiro has been up and down and thereabout, but he has also been important. I think the players I've mentioned that I think have been the more important players for Manchester United. But that said, I think without a shadow of a doubt, I was about even Kobe has been needing a bit of rest, but it's good that the season is coming to an end. But the one player important who we need to rest now is Alejandro Garnacho and give a chance to Ahmad and of course the other players who have stepped up in Amrabat and all the rest. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. Of course, the game will be kicking off. Of course, all games will be starting at the same. Brighton United. It will be a tough game, but I think we shall grind a result in that one. I think the worst will be a draw, but most likely Man United will win, regardless if whether Erik Ten Hag starts Garnacho or not. I still think Manchester United should be able to get a result in this one and end the season, at least the Premier League, in a good mood, but also they set themselves up for a good final against Man City in the FA Cup as we wait for what the verdict will be from Ineos and the manager, Erik Ten Hag's job. Subscribe, guys, and let me catch you later.